at Crepes CME, we make everything fresh, and we'll have waits of like an hour, hour and a half some days, like especially Saturdays. So we wanted to make things like hors d'oeuvres or things that we could get into people's hands quickly so that they had that instant gratification, because we just couldn't provide that, with just crepes alone. So, and even drinks take a little bit of time. You can wait 15, 20 minutes for a drink if there's a big line. So we started, we had a pastry chef who was our manager at the time. And so we started working with, I wanted to keep with the French theme. So we were like, let's do croissants. Let's do those type of pastries. So we worked on a couple recipes, started selling the pastries. Those took off. Then we went to the farmer's market again, because I was like, well, we'll see where this can go. We can sell what we have at the farmer's market. And we did the COVID hit, slowed things down, but 2022, we're like, we're doing this. We're going to go for it. And then finally in 2024, we opened up.
I love, too, that now as folks hear more about you through this interview and they're watching or listening and they heard you talk about skateboarding, are those skateboards on the Iron Dame logo?
I wish. No, I'm not that clever. They're
it's a skull and crossbones, correct? But they kind of look like skateboards the way they come across.
So what it actually is it's a pain au chocolat is the head. So it's a chocolate croissant.
Okay.
So they're called bâtons. It's a chocolate stick. So they're chocolate sticks that you see in the quintessential chocolate croissant that you would get.
Yeah.
And then it's rolling pins.
Okay.
So, and then a little Eiffel Tower nose.
Very cool. And you're really bringing that French flavor to Townsend Street for sure. Now that you got those two spots, and you mentioned the pandemic slightly. What was the pandemic like owning a business? And at that point in time, your business is 5 years old, and this is pre-Iron Dame. And what did the pandemic feel like for you as a business owner on Townsend, and then also just as a business owner as a part of Downtown Midland? Yeah,
so to answer the first part of the question, we did have to close for 2 months. That was wild, because I've been working since I was 14, and then I'm just suddenly at home. And so we made videos with our kids. We did some like crazy videos, like mom and dad are going nuts and they think there's a restaurant in the middle of the yard and fun stuff like that. But we did spend a lot of good quality time with our kids. And then when it came time to open up, we started working with the food delivery services to start, because we couldn't have people come in right away. So it was like, we have to work with food delivery services. So that kind of kept us afloat. Being a part of Downtown Midland. So this is where I know it gets thrown around a lot, like we said. Midland is a special place. Midland helped keep our business afloat during that time. So our sales were record low, as most people's were. So the community was like, hey, we're going to help everybody out. Why don't we do this? Downtown Midland got a bunch of the businesses together. They sold gift certificates that couldn't be redeemed until, I think they started in March of, I forget what year, 2021 or something like that. They started in March, but you could buy the gift certificate, but you couldn't redeem it until June of that year. So you had 3 months of sales, like, just to float you. It was super cool. I mean, and then Josiah over at Red Threads, he did his whole campaign to help people out, and I did a video with him. That was fun. And he's a super progressive guy when it comes to like helping small businesses out and stuff like that. So he helped us tremendously, and he kind of rallied the troops for everybody. I don't think it was the I Am Midland campaign that he did. Was it that?
I think he was involved in that, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to quote it and be wrong.
Right.
But the I Am Midland campaign was right around that time too, which also gave a lot back to the community as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I still see people wearing those shirts.
Oh, I have one in my drawer right now.
It's awesome. Well, yeah.
And that was a cool program too. And as someone who lives downtown, we took part in that as well and bought certificates and able to use those later on. But it's just another innovative way for folks to be able to take care of businesses. And I think that as soon as the pandemic hit and we understood a lot of things were going to be closed, organizations went into action. Mm-hmm. And then obviously things were compounded by flooding as well in May of 2020. And just an absolute bizarre time for our community, which I think has really rallied back in an incredible way, despite, like most places in the United States and world, changing right before our own very eyes. And we're so fortunate to have most of those businesses that unfortunately had to be paused during that time. And I like to think it's due to some really careful planning and consideration by people here in the Midland area to make sure that businesses were taken care of and we were supporting our local businesses in that time frame. And then just a couple years later, you open Iron Dame. What made you decide to go with such a different branding rather than doing a Crepes Out of Me extension?
So we were back and forth on that. Ultimately, I think when I opened Iron Dame, I saw scalability. I don't see it as much now, to be honest, but I saw scalability. I thought, okay, if we're ever going to do a second location for Crepes CME, let's change the name to Iron Dame so it's easier to pronounce. Because even I still pronounce the name wrong, and I own the place, right? That's messed up.
So let's settle this right now. It's Crepes Out of Me, correct?
Crepes Out of Me, yeah.
And you say Crepes
E me.
It's funny because I've been in conversations with people for the last few years, and I'll say Crepes Out of Me, and they'll say, no, Brandon says it like this.
Yeah.
He's the owner. So should we adopt your saying, or is it more proper to use Crepes Out of Me?
I say tomato.
As long as you come in and get a crepe.
Right. Just come on in.
I like that. So just a different branding and a different style of branding. And what does Dame mean to French culture?
So the Eiffel Tower, the people that live in Paris have an affectionate name for the Eiffel Tower. They call it La Dame de Fer, which is the Lady of Iron. So we adopted the name Iron Dame because, again, I'm like an old punk from the early 2000s. So I'm like that. I resonated with that all day. So Iron Dame. Well, also, if we called it the Iron Lady, then it'd be like, what's this guy's obsession with Margaret Thatcher? And we can't have that. So
I was in England when Margaret Thatcher passed away.
Oh.
And I was going to a Liverpool match. I'm a huge Liverpool Football Club fan. And in the early 90s, there was the Hillsborough disaster. And it was a huge thing for Liverpool fans where, a bunch of fans were crushed, unfortunately, at a stadium in Hillsborough. And they were celebrating when Margaret Thatcher passed away. It was a little bit different. I was like, well, I've never seen anything like this before, but that's just soccer culture for you on a side note.
Yeah.
But, Iron Dame has been a hit, and these pastries are absolutely incredible. So folks should definitely go in and get one at some point in time. But those businesses are right next to each other there on Townsend. And talk about the other businesses that are now in place. Now, we know that Michigan Brew Supply is no longer in that neighborhood, and they've moved on to some other things. But now, who is in those spaces?
So in that space that used to be Michigan Brew Supply is Bookmarks Bookshop. So she's got a cute, awesome little bookshop. I remember when she was coming in and she was bringing those huge shelves that she had, and I was like, where is she going to put these? It's such a small space. But her husband's quite handy, and they got it out. They got a whole little Narnia section. You ever been in there?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, they got a cool little Narnia section that you can sit in. She does book clubs. So she and I have collaborated on her book club. She's been trying to get them over to Crepes CME. Crepes Out of Me, Crepes CME.
Tomato.
It's been nice. She'll bring some of her book clubs over there so that people can get a drink if they want and take advantage of our happy hour. So that's been really nice. And then there's Mr. Mustache. So Mr. Mustache has been there almost as long as we have.
Mr. Mustache is a legacy organization at this point.
Yeah, and he's awesome. The guy that Josh, he's a wild guy. I was talking to him yesterday, and he's like, what do you got? I was putting together a saw so I could fix the tile finally at Iron Dame, and he's so easy to talk to. You know what I mean? You can talk to him about anything, and he's always like, he's got his little opinion, but he's just hilarious and a fun guy. So
subscribe wherever you consume media. Max Loves Midland is your entertainment, resources, and collective improvement hub for Midland County. Plan your next adventure in Midland at maxlovesmidland.com.